Loneliness is not simply the absence of people. It is the presence of a strange, heavy silence that sits inside you even when you're surrounded by others. It is waking up in the morning thinking you're fine, only to feel that sharp, familiar emptiness the moment the world goes quiet. Most people think loneliness is just being alone, but the truth is far darker. You can sleep next to someone and feel like you're miles apart. You can be loved and still feel invisible. You can have people who care about you, yet none of them truly see you. This is the kind of loneliness no one talks about, the kind that slowly rewires your mind, changes the way you see the world, and reshapes the way you see yourself. Loneliness begins like a whisper, a small feeling that something is missing. Maybe it's connection. Maybe it's meaning. Maybe it's someone who understands your thoughts without you explaining every detail. At first, you ignore it. You keep yourself busy, you scroll, you work, you distract. But at night, when everything slows down, you feel it creeping back in. That quiet ache, that heaviness in your chest, that sense of being out of place, even in your own life. And the worst part is this: you start believing that no one will ever truly understand you. The mind reacts to loneliness in ways people rarely notice. It begins to detach from the world, pulling away from people not by choice, but by exhaustion. It convinces you that expressing your needs is a burden, that no one will care, that no one ever has. So you stop sharing, you stop reaching out, you stop trying. People around you say you've changed, but in reality, you're just learning to protect yourself. Loneliness doesn't always look like sadness. Sometimes it looks like independence. You tell yourself you don't need anyone. You tell yourself you're happier alone. But your mind knows the truth. Humans are not built to exist without connection. We don't just want to be understood, we need to be. And when that need goes unmet for too long, something inside you fractures. Over time, loneliness makes you hyper-aware of the smallest forms of rejection. A delayed reply, a cold tone, a canceled plan. Your mind magnifies them until they feel like proof that you're truly alone. The brain interprets loneliness as danger. This is why isolated people become more sensitive, more guarded, and more likely to misinterpret neutral situations as threats. It's not weakness, it's biology. And then comes the next stage, numbness. The silence becomes so familiar that you stop fighting it. You stop hoping for connection. You stop expecting anything from anyone. You become an observer of your own life, watching everything happen as if it's distant. You laugh at jokes that don't make you feel anything. You talk without revealing anything real. You move through the world like a ghost of the person you used to be. This numbness protects you, but it also isolates you further, and this is where loneliness becomes dangerous. Because now, even when someone tries to reach you, you don't know how to let them in. You don't know how to trust their intentions. You don't know how to be vulnerable anymore. You don't even know how to express the depth of what you feel, because it's been buried for so long that it has no shape, no words, no form. People say, just talk to someone, as if it were that simple. But loneliness is not healed by a conversation. It is healed by connection, real, raw, consistent connection, and that is something the modern world doesn't offer easily. Most relationships are shallow. Most friendships fade. Most people only listen to reply, not to understand. And so you retreat further into yourself, hoping someone will notice, yet expecting no one ever will. The dark reality is this: loneliness changes people. It makes you quieter. It makes you observe more. It makes you see truths others avoid. You start noticing who only calls when they need something, who disappears when you're struggling, who says they care, yet never shows up. Loneliness sharpens your perception. You learn to read tone, body language, hidden intentions. You become emotionally intelligent not because you want to, but because you had to. And ironically, this makes you even lonelier. Because now you see through people. You see their masks. You see the games. You see how fragile and temporary most connections really are. You see how rare genuine presence is. But here is the truth the world never tells you. Loneliness is not always your enemy. Sometimes it is the catalyst that forces you to outgrow your environment. It is the fire that burns away superficial relationships. It is the silence that reveals what you truly need. Loneliness teaches you what kind of person you want beside you. Loneliness teaches you boundaries. Loneliness teaches you self-respect. And most importantly, loneliness teaches you that connection means nothing unless it is real. There is a version of you that exists on the other side of this loneliness, a version that no longer settles for half love, half attention, or half presence. A version of you who chooses people who choose you. A version of you who speaks openly, loves deeply, and never apologizes for needing connection. The world will tell you loneliness is a weakness, but in reality, it is the beginning of self-awareness. It is the awakening that forces you to rebuild your life with intention. If you're going through this now, remember one thing. The loneliness you feel today is not a sign that you are unworthy. It is a sign that you are becoming someone who can no longer tolerate shallow connections. Someone who wants depth. Someone who wants truth. Someone who wants people who make you feel seen. The dark reality of loneliness is painful, yes, but it is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of a new chapter 1 where you finally understand your own worth.